Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Gold Bagel, Simplify, and or Krewela here again. And basically I just want to talk about why am I playing World of Warcraft again. Oh, you said you weren't gonna play, you said you quit and you're gonna play RuneScape. Well, like I said, I go back and forth, but I think for a while now I will be focused on World of Warcraft. Ugh. And the reason for that is I've joined the #1 guild on my server. We are VIP. I'm not like technically in the core raid group yet, but they're recruiting a rogue, and I went with them to get heroic Will of the Emperor, and it was the server first kill for that, as you can see right here, realm first. And so that was good, and that's really what I want, is a guild that will be getting the server first. And basically they like to play how I play. They reached the time where they were supposed to stop raiding, but they're like, we're not leaving until this shit is dead, because we'd have to wait 2 more weeks before we got another attempt at it. And so I went there, and now there are only 10 of us on the server out of thousands of people with the Delver of the Vaults title, and that's pretty cool to me. And in the DS tier, when I was over here, I was literally like the 1 or 2%. I had my legendaries, and I'm not using my legendaries right now. I'm just using a model transformer to change my gear roll. Looks like it's only on my end. But what was I saying? No, I'm gonna do my dailies. That's why I'm doing this, because I hate dailies. The reason that I wanted to join this guild is because Moonguard is my favorite server, and no, I don't go to Goldshire and ERP or any of that shit. That's not my cup of tea. The reason I want to join this is because originally I was going to leave the server, and that was a fail, and go to another one to join a guild. But you know, these guys seem pretty cool, and best guild on the server, getting heroic kills, that's pretty good. And I just decided, you know, I'll give it a go, see if I can join them. Like I said, I haven't joined them yet, but they are looking for a rogue, and I'm pretty sure I could join. You know, I got on the server first and all. Let's see. But funny thing was, I actually didn't get out to a good start with the raid leader. We were butting heads when we first met. But he's a pretty cool guy, and I'll give you the link to our server first kill in the description. It's a pretty good kill. Before anyone asks, the reason my damage was so low is because since I'm a rogue, my job was basically just to be the soak bitch. I would go, because on heroic mode, you after you kill an ad, there's a spark that spawns, and what you have to do with that spark is get someone to soak it or kill it, and we couldn't kill it. And so previously what they were doing was they would do some, I don't know, Blood Legion shit, and like put body and soul on someone and have them run through a spark, and if you're not within the range of when it hits, you won't take damage, but you soak it. And it wasn't very successful because it was very shoddy, because sometimes when you jump up to get the spark, it won't always work. And so I can see why that wouldn't work, but with me, I would get it literally every time, because, you know, I learned how to jump. I didn't learn how to jump, I knew that you'd have to jump to go into it, and I got it every time, and so I basically made the fight very easy mode. So like my only job was like do as much damage as I could, but I was mainly there to make sure that we got those sparks soaked, because as they get closer to you, they'll go faster, and eventually you will get hit by the spark, and it hits for like 650,000 nature damage, which is unsurvivable. At that point, you're probably asking, well, how did you survive it, Krewela? And my reply, how are you not dead? Is what I did is I used Feint, which reduces area of effect damage by 50%, and Elusiveness, which increases all damage taken by 30%, and that's stacked. So I was taking 80% reduced damage, and so the maximum I'd get hit for by the spark would be 262,000 damage. And sometimes that's what causes us to wipe, because my health during the fight, basically what happens is there's a constant damage over time going on. And sometimes my health would dip below 262k if I didn't have an absorb. That's the maximum hit me for. I rarely got hit for that much, but on our kill video, that's what happened to me. And so when that happened, I mean, we basically just called it a wipe. But on our server first kill, basically we didn't do that. We just kept going, and it's probably one of the most epic server first kills I've seen, because the way that they adapt to me dying and dealing with sparks is just, it's a level of play that you wouldn't expect from a guild on Moonguard. But a lot of these guys are from, like me, they're from Proudmoore, Illidan, Zul'jin, these really competitive servers, but they're just on a roleplay realm. And I'm a pretty avid role player. Like, I do the roleplay thing, but like, to me, I would rather be successful in raiding rather than be good at roleplay. Which I'm good at roleplay, but I would rather raid than do roleplay. And so with this guild, I can do both. But let me tell you why I got off to a bad start with the raid leader, Shumking Wong, or however he says his name. I still can't say it. And so what happened was he put in trade chat, you know, his ad, you know, VIP looking for more players, all that. And I responded to it, and he said, go do this, go do a DPS test on the dummy. And I said, okay, but with subtlety, one of your biggest things is your Honor Among Thieves, which basically every about 2 or 3 seconds it has a cooldown on it. If someone in the raid or you gets a critical strike, and that's with healing or damage, you get an extra combo point. And as you can see, I'm energy starved quite a lot. And that's why you need to have your Honor Among Thieves, so you can just basically generate those combo points. And I didn't have that, and so I was doing about 45k damage, 45k DPS on the dummy. And he said, sorry, not interested. And I was like, oh, because dummy DPS is an accurate representation of my skill, right? And so that happened, and then we fought for a while, and I was trolling him in trade chat. And then randomly one day, I get a tell from him saying, do you want to come help us with our server first kill? And I'm like, no, and he convinced me to do it, so I did it. And it turned out they're actually not big fucking douchebags, they're pretty cool people. And so now I'm looking to join them. You might think, oh, you're such a sheep for joining that guild that talks shit about you. They didn't really talk shit about me. It was just, he was going by what I did on a dummy, but I don't know. It was a misunderstanding, I guess is what I'll call it. And this fucking thing happens randomly where I'll get a hang up for like 2 seconds and it all catches back up at once, and it's getting really annoying, and I'm going to kill something. It doesn't happen in raids, it just happens when I'm not doing anything important, and it's boring. That's when it does it, is when it's boring and slow, and it just pisses me off even more when it happens. I don't know why. If you know how to fix that, please tell me. But what we do is, I think they've cleared everything on normal, and so another reason I did bad DPS is because I'm in 474 gear and I'm using some PvP pieces. But then again, you know, I gotta make do with what I can. I still perform to the best of my abilities, which is still, you know, pretty good. I got a pretty good skill cap. What I'm looking to do with them is join, stay on the server, and then just consistently be the best guild on the server. Our competitor is a 25-man horde guild named Warforge, and they're not the best guild. I mean, by Moonguard standards, they're good, but they can't kill Heroic Will, and we did, so good for us, you know? We need to vanish here. Okay. I mean, they're a pretty good guild, don't get me wrong. They're pretty much the only 25-man guild on this server, to be honest. that is decently ranked. That is, I don't know if there's any more, but all the other ones are just normal heroes. They just do normals, and that's all they do. They don't even put their feet in heroic. And that's not the kind of player I am. Like, when I do something on normal, I want to jump straight into heroic. Even like I told you, I love overtuned fights, and so doing overtuned fights in blues and whatnot is good. And what I want to do is go with them over farm content and get replace some pieces. Some of the pieces I need to replace. I need to replace this dagger. I mainly play subtlety for single target because I love subtlety and it's best single target DPS. And right here, I've already got my 2-piece. I actually got my 2-piece 496 stuff from before the raids came out on Shaw. I got really lucky with that. I need to replace this, that, but that can wait a little bit. That definitely, this, well not definitely this. It gives me a lot of agility. This too, I need to go get the Searing Words if I can't get a trinket anytime soon, but I really want the trinket from Elegon. That's what I replace this with. These right here. That, and I mean, it's basically it. I've got my goggles. I spent about almost all my gold went to, here it is again, doing the lag shit. Almost all my gold early in the game of Miss Pandaria went towards getting my goggles because I was in Uprising, which is that shit guild that sucks at heroic. I spent almost all my gold getting these, and it was worth it because, you know, it was best in slot at the time, so might as well get it, right? I mean, you really, if you're gonna do a hardcore raid, you have to get the best you can, and that's what I did. And so I did that, and now I have about 18k. I'm gonna have 18k by the end of this video after I turn on my stuff. And I got those, and I was actually one of the first people on the server to get them, because I got lucky with the Primal Diamond, because they were super rare when Miss Pandaria came out. And I was able to get one for 3k on the auction house. I just woke up and I decided to look for it, and lo and behold, there it was, sitting there for 3k. And that was good, because I got my goggles, one of the first people to do so. And the way that I got my 525 engineering was not very optimal, because I was supposed to get another, what do you call it? Not a moat, but a Spirit of Harmony. I call it Farmony. Just gotta farm a shit ton. You had to get a lot of those to be able to effectively and cheaply get your level up, like the last few levels, because if you make stuff with that you get 5 skill levels. But I didn't want to wait, because I had about 2 moats and it takes 10 of them to make a spirit, and I didn't have that kind of time, you know. I just really wanted to get my shit. And so what I did was, instead I just made a bunch of thermal anvils. And what those do is they're portable anvils, and you can place them anywhere, and they act as a normal anvil. And so I made about 100 of those, and that was that probably is what cost me so much gold, was making all those anvils. If I would have taken my time and farmed the moats and spirit, I probably wouldn't have spent so much gold. But like I said, limited time span, you know. I didn't have much time because we were about to start doing raids. And I'm telling you, we literally raided for like a day straight. We didn't stop. That's all we did was do Mokshan vaults. Fucking get away from me. I don't even know where I'm supposed to go. Look it off me. And one of the reasons I left Uprising is because the guild and raid leader Romo is probably one of the biggest assholes you'll ever see in your whole entire life. He's not even that good at the game, and he thinks he's hot shit, but he's really not. But with this guild, they know where they're at, you know. Like, we know we're not the best guild in the world right now. Do we have the potential to be? Of course we do. I mean, everyone does. You could be the best rogue in the world. You can do whatever you want to. You just have to not be retarded and know how to play the game. And you can do that. You have to believe in yourself. and I'm pretty confident that I am the best rogue on the server. And the reason for that is I'm probably sounding like a cynical asshole. Oh, he thinks he's the best rogue, look at that asshole. No, like, the reason I say that is because in the DS tier, tier 12, whichever one it was, you don't even know my tiers, that's how good I am, I was the top-ranked Alliance geared player. Now, that was just gear, because I had a few pieces that weren't best in slot. But skill-wise, I think I could have done better than the people that had the full best in slot gear. And then again, you know, I didn't have the Violent Shadows, but I had my legendaries and all that. And I was one of the few people that had them on that server. And if I could just get a little bit more gear, I'm pretty sure I could be on par with the Rogue and Warforged, who's got a pretty good amount of gear on him right now. I mean, probably right now, maybe I could out DPS him, I'm not sure. Depends on the spec and how fast we can kill the boss. And they're doing 25 man. So, like, in terms of a race for gear, I'm at a disadvantage because I do 10 man, less gear drops. But at the same time, I won't have competition for it unless I'm rolling against a feral, which we don't have. We don't have a feral. So, I mean, I'll get all the rogue gear when it drops, basically, unless it's needed elsewhere. And that's really good because with 25, normally, other than Will of the Emperor, I don't know how many rogues you take for Will of the Emperor heroic on 25. Rogues are really good for raiding, not so much for PvP, but for raiding, rogues are just awesome. And that's a good and bad thing, because if they weren't doing so well, maybe, probably I could have, I'd be one of the few rogues that still raids, right? But at the same time, would people want me because I'm worthless? Probably not. So the reason that rogues are good is because, you know, we can just do so much damage. We do consistent high damage in a raid environment. And that's good because high damage is really good. One of the downsides to having a rogue is, I can't really think of one because there's not. Rogues are just awesome. We can transfer threat to other sources. We can transfer threat to other sources. We can survive a flurry of attacks with evasion and combat readiness and cloak shadows. We are the best soakers in the game. Like, if there's something we need to soak, we will be the best because feint plus elusiveness will protect us from anything. Basically, I just wanted to talk to you guys while I was doing my dailies. Playing World of Warcraft. If you want to look at me, I am Krewela with Moonguard. I'll show you my name right here. Krewela. Delver of the Vaults, VIP. That's me. If you want to go look at my stuff, look at my gear, feel free to do so. You guys have a wonderful day and see you soon. And make sure you go watch the video I'm going to put in the description. It's our server first kill of Heroic Will of the Emperor. See you next time.